In this video, we will talk about the importance of having an emergency fund and provide tips on how to build one. What is an emergency fund and why is it important to have one? An emergency fund is a savings account that is set aside to cover unexpected expenses or financial emergencies. It's important to have an emergency fund because life is unpredictable and unexpected expenses can come up at any time. For example, you might face a sudden job loss, a medical emergency, or a major car repair. And if you don't have an emergency fund, you may have to rely on credit cards or loans, which can lead to debt and financial stress. Having an emergency fund can help you in several ways. Provides financial security. An emergency fund can give you peace of mind knowing that you have a safety net in case of unpredictable expenses or income loss. Reduces financial stress. By having an emergency fund, you can avoid the stress and worry that comes with not having enough money to cover sudden expenses, which can set you back in achieving your financial goals. How much money should you aim to save in your emergency fund? The amount of money you should aim to save in your emergency fund depends on your personal circumstances, such as your monthly expenses, income stability, and potential risk. However, most financial experts recommend having at least 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses in your emergency fund. To determine your living expenses, you should add up all of your necessary monthly expenses such as rent or mortgage, utilities, food, transportation, insurance, and any other fixed expenses. You can also include some discretionary expenses, such as entertainment, but focus on the essentials that you need to live on a day-to-day basis. For example, you live in India and your monthly expenses are around $40,000. In this case, you should aim to save at least $1,20,000 to $2,40,000 in your emergency fund. This will give you enough cushion to cover unexpected expenses, such as a sudden job loss or a medical emergency, for several months. Keep in mind that your personal circumstances may require more or less than 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses. For instance, if you have dependents, a fluctuating income, or a high-risk job, you may need to save more. Conversely, if you have a stable job and low-risk lifestyle, you may be able to save less. Where to store your emergency fund savings to keep them accessible but not easily spent? When it comes to storing your emergency fund savings, you want to strike a balance between accessibility and keeping the funds separate from your everyday spending. Here are some options to consider. Fixed deposits. Fixed deposits, FDs, are a popular savings option. They offer a higher interest rate than regular savings accounts and are relatively safe. You can choose a tenure that suits your needs, ranging from a few months to several years. Liquid funds. Liquid funds are a type of mutual fund that invests in short-term, low-risk debt securities. They offer higher returns than savings accounts and FDs and can be redeemed quickly, usually within 24 hours. Savings accounts. Many banks and financial institutions offer online savings accounts that offer higher interest rates than traditional savings accounts. Here are some tips on how to use your emergency fund wisely and avoid depleting it unnecessarily. Prioritize your emergency expenses. Only use your emergency fund for necessary expenses, such as medical bills, car repairs, or unexpected household repairs. Avoid using it for non-essential expenses. Restore your emergency fund. If you do need to use your emergency fund, make sure to restore it as soon as possible. Set up automatic deposits or transfers to ensure that you are consistently saving and rebuilding your fund. In conclusion, having an emergency fund is an important part of financial planning, and it's essential to use it wisely to avoid depleting it unnecessarily. Remember, your emergency fund is designed to help you in times of unexpected expenses or emergencies. Using it wisely and avoiding unnecessary depletion can ensure that it's available when you need it most.